Hello there, everyone. Zantok here with Select Star Gaming, and welcome to our 6th annual season of the Hunger Games. Now, if you've seen these videos before, you already know the drill. But if you haven't, here's how this is going to work. If you haven't heard of the website Brantsteele, it's a simulator where you can insert any character you want or take existing characters from different media that they already have pre-built in there and have them run through a season of Survivor or Big Brother or The Circle, Dog Eat Dog, The Hunger Games, and you just click through. It'll give you, sometimes it'll have like little bits of story or whatever. Some of the games that you edit a little bit of story, and then you just keep on clicking through to see how the progress of it all goes. Now, what I like to do here with Select Star Gaming Hunger Games is I like to do this once a year, and I take characters from games or Let's Plays that have been featured on the channel for the most part. Then a couple other things that will come like either from Wheel Trail streams or maybe my streams even. My streams tend to just... If we do a stream that's not going to become a Let's Play, then I might pull from that as well. That's basically what I'm saying. And then sometimes, we like to include some actual people. Like, I was in one of the seasons. I died. So did Way Outro. It happens. But we've got 48 characters here in contention for the title of this year's Hunger Games, including the previous season's winner, because I always like to bring back the previous winner to see if they can survive again. It actually happened once. So that was fun. That was surprising. I did not expect it to happen. But we've got my good friend Ludicolo over here. He's currently acting as our spoiler barrier, so that you don't see who's in what districts just yet. But it's almost time for him to go away. So let's go ahead and see who's going to be in each district of this season of the Hunger Games. Now, as I believe I've mentioned before, I'm not mapping anything to specific districts with specific reasons, so it's not going to be like, oh, here's the career district view. So I'm not like putting in characters that I think would have like better odds or whatever. Or there's no, like I didn't put like intentional choice of having the underdogs be in District 11 or 12 or anything like that. They're really just order based on like some Wheel Trail stuff here, some me stuff here. The bottom half tends to be a little bit more scattered, and I try and pair things up by series or game, just things that are somehow related to another if I can. I also try to make it so that no one game has more than 2 characters represented. There was one year we had to break that because we just did not have enough games that were on the channel that year. It was a thing. But let's go ahead now and reveal who is going to be fighting it out to the death. So, Ludicolo, if you could go down just a little bit here for me, buddy. Okay, yep, just like that. Thank you, thank you. All right. So, District 1 is all we have trail characters. So, we've got Jonathan Reed and Elizabeth Ashbury from Vampyr, being joined by Amicia and Hugo from A Plague Tale Innocence. And then over in District 2, we've got some of my characters. We've got Kirumi Tojo and Kibo from Danganronpa V3, Killing Harmony. And alongside them is Junpei and Santa from 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. I'm actually currently streaming the sequel to that game on my channel, so that's fun. It is actually fun. District 3 is going to be some more of my stuff. We have Aerith Gainsborough and Barrett Wallace here to represent Final Fantasy VII. And then Yuffie Kisaragi is representing the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intermission DLC. And I think it was last year, we had Remake itself be represented by Cloud and, I want to say Tifa? I think Tifa was in that one. But then we have District 4. We got some more Wheel Trail stuff here. We've got, I forgot, the 4th character in that district is Drago from the Ring Fit Adventure shuffle play that I did, and that game hurts. If you're not an exerciser, that game hurts. For District 4, we've got Parvati and Nyoka from The Outer Worlds, and joining them is Lestrade and Wiggins from Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments. And now, let's just see here, District 5. I'm going to actually start revealing things normally. District 5 is going to be some more of my stuff. It's going to be Fireman.exe and Shademan.exe from MegaMan Battle Network 4, Red Sun, and Blue Moon, because I technically did both games. And joining them is Cecil and Lynn from Ghost Trick, a Phantom Detective. Very fun. Very mystery. District 6 has Captain Scarlet from the Borderlands 2 DLC, Captain Scarlet and Her Pirate's Booty, joined by Sir Hammerlock from the Borderlands 2 DLC, Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt, and then Mr. Torg from the Borderlands 2 DLC, Mr. Torg's Campaign of Carnage. And then joining them is The Lamb from Cult of the Lamb, which is a wild game. It's sim management plus roguelike bullet hell type stuff. Goddamn. District 7 is going to be Miles Morales and the Tinkerer from Spider-Man Miles Morales, joined by Birdo and Princess Daisy from Super Mario Party. Was it Super Mario Party or was it Mario Party Superstars? It was Mario Party Superstars, actually. Super Mario Party is a different game. Similar names, though. District 8 is a pair of crossover fighting games, which just made perfect sense. We've got Aang and Reptar from Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and Arya Stark and Bugs Bunny from MultiVersus. Then in District 9, we've got Billy and Lucilla from Little Dragon's Cafe, and Aiden and Lily from The Little Acre. District 10 has Archie and Zinnia from Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, alongside Professor Mirror from New Pokemon Snap, and Antonio from Vampire Survivors. And then District 11 has Scout from The Flame and the Flood, Leshy from Inscryption, which was very difficult to find a picture for, Hugh from Hugh, and Clara from Food Trick Simulator. And when Whale Trail gave me the characters from his games to nominate for the Hunger Games, he was just like, you don't have to use this game. And I was just like, alright, but I'll see what they look like. Oh, Clara is an old lady who's like managing things? Oh, hell yeah, we're throwing Clara in. I don't care. Clara, either or. We're throwing her in the Hunger Games. District 12 is where things seem to get sometimes a little odd. So to start off with, we have Alphino and Tataru from Final Fantasy XIV, which is not actually a Let's Play on the channel, but if you are familiar with Whale Trail's streams, then you'll know that I successfully convinced him to play a Final Fantasy game. And not just that, the MMO. One of two MMOs, that is. I don't know Final Fantasy XI at all. We've both been playing 14 a lot this year. I had gotten myself caught up with the main story. Whale Trail is... Well, at time of recording, he is almost done with the base game for the second expansion. Boy's getting there. I threw in Alphino because he's more or less the main character of the NPCs, and then I asked him which one of these characters is your favorite, and he said Tataru. So it's Tataru, and I was like, okay, Tataru. Welcome to the Hunger Games. Then joining them, we've got Jono, who not only was my opponent in Mario Party Superstars, but he's also my partner when we do our podcast, Super Cast Brothers. So if you don't know what that is, and you want to listen to two idiots talk about Smash Brothers and coming up with our own moveset for characters and whatnot, check it out. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, I think? I don't know. I'm only responsible for the YouTube uploads. Jono takes care of the rest. But yeah, so he's there. And then, of course, joining the final slot in District 12 is Deadpool, the winner of last year's Hunger Games season. And honestly, probably the most appropriate Hunger Games winner that we've had thus far in all the seasons. We'll see what this year does. Now then, let us proceed and see what happens at the Cornucopia. So, we have the Bloodbath. Let's see here. As the tributes sit on their podiums, the horn sounds, and I take a drink. Alright, so Clara runs away from the Cornucopia. Nyoka takes a spear from inside the Cornucopia. Deadpool breaks Tataru's nose for a basket of bread? You son of a bitch! Lucilla runs away from the Cornucopia. Sir Hammerlock runs away from the Cornucopia. So many cowards. Jono runs away from the Cornucopia. A.F. Gainsborough gathers as much food as she can. Amicia runs away from the Cornucopia. Lily also runs away. Zinnia rips a mace out of Parvati's hands. Okay. Wiggins grabs a sword. Shade Man takes a handful of throwing knives. Dude, you're a vampire. What do you need throwing knives for? Santa gets a pair of scythes. Mr. Torg rips a mace out of Lestrade's hands. That makes sense. Lynn runs away. Birdo runs away. Professor Mirror, Bugs Bunny, Sissel, and Fireman share everything they gathered before running. Scout runs away. Karumi takes a sickle. Captain Scarlet, Archie, and Miles Morales get into a fight. Miles Morales triumphantly kills them both. We have first blood. And ironically enough, Spider-Man just killed 2 pirate captains. Alright. Antonio takes a spear. Aiden takes some more throwing knives. Billy, Yuffie, Hugo, and Junpei share everything that they gathered. The Lamb runs away. Princess Daisy gets a sickle. The Tinkerer and Alphino fight over a bag. Alphino gives up and runs away. Reptar runs away. Dude, you could have stopped everyone. What are you doing? Kibo runs. Lushy runs. Barrett, what you doing? Let me get... Barrett finds a bow, arrow, and some quiver. Okay, you literally have a gun. Grabbed it onto your arm. Alright. Arya runs. Hugh takes a first aid kit and runs away. Drago runs away. Aang, Jonathan Reed, and Elizabeth Ashbury work together to get as many supplies as possible. At this point, I also forgot that I wanted to mention the settings that I set up. As I always do, I removed all the suicide deaths from the game because no. And I also set the death rate to be medium because there's options of low, medium, high, and very high. And I decided to do medium. I think that's usually what I do. Aiden, now we're on day 1. Past, the initial bloodbath. But Aiden begs for Sir Hammerlock to kill him. He refuses and keeps Aiden alive. Tataru diverts Karuma's attention and runs away. Sounds like a Tataru thing to do. Scout and Parvati split up to look for resources. Alphino gets fresh food from his sponsor. It's probably his mom. Hugh searches for a water source. Let's see here. Lucula is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Zinnia goes to higher ground. Claire receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Oh boy. Mr. Torg discovers a cave. Princess Daisy attempts to sleep through the entire day. Honestly, fair. Hugo tends to Arya Stark's wounds. Yuffie scares off Fireman. Interesting, okay. Billy makes a slingshot. Bugs Bunny overhears Wiggins and Kibo talking in the distance. Professor Mirror makes a wooden spear. Jonathan Reed, the Tinkerer, Shademan, and Santa raid Sissel's camp while he's hunting. Rude. Amicia receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. It begins. Barrett sees smoke rising in the distance and says, "Fuck that." Deadpool gets fruit! Aerith and Junpei split up to look for resources. Birdo scares off Lestrade. Drago, Jono, Reptar, and Miles Morales raid Lushy's camp while he is out hunting. Nayoka searches for firewood. Lynn camouflages herself in the bushes. With that hair, Lynn? With that hair? I don't think that's gonna fucking work. Oh well. Aang gets a hatchet from a sponsor. The Lamb sees smoke rising in the distance and says, not till I get my colt. Lily makes a wooden spear. Antonio chases Elizabeth Ashbury. And now, our fallen tribute. So far we've only lost Captain Scarlet and Archie. But now for the first night. Lucilla sings himself to sleep, or at least attempts to. The Tinkerer destroys Miles Morales' supplies while he's asleep. That makes sense. Alphino sets up camp. Lynn looks at the night sky. Barrett begs Kibo to kill him, and he refuses. Barrett, what you doing, man? Jono thinks about home. Wiggins screams for help. The Lamb cries himself to sleep. Junpei tends to Aiden's wounds. Zinnia and Jonathan Reed sleep in shifts. Reptar destroys Lushy's supplies while he's asleep. Yuffie Kisaragi is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Yuffie, you should definitely know how to start a fire. I mean, you've been on your own a lot traveling the world. I'm pretty sure... What the hell happened, girl? Elizabeth Ashbury's trap kills Clara. No! The old lady's already dead. Well, shit. So much for my food truck. Nayoka starts a fire. Aerith goes to bed. Deadpool destroys Mr. Torg's supplies while he's asleep. I feel like they would get along. Honestly, I think those two would get along scarily. Parvati, Santa, and Sissel cheerfully sing songs together. Hugo and Hugh sleep in shifts. Hugo and Hugh. God, okay. Fireman begs Princess Daisy to kill him, and she's like, "Get my hands dirty? Are you kidding me? You shoot fire out your head and arms. I ain't doing that." Drago, Scout, Arya Stark, and Antonio sleep in shifts. Billy defeats Professor Mirror in a fight, probably not that difficult, but spares his life. Tataru defeats Lily in a fight, but spares her life. Amicia lets Aang into her shelter. I mean, he could probably start the fire. Shaved Man .exe kills Sir Hammerlock with his own weapon. Shame. Shame. Kurumi receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. There are now 2. Not that the game actually like tracks the sponsor gifts. I kind of wish it could make it be a little bit more RPG instead of just RNG, because it's all completely random. So somebody could kill someone with an explosive, but never have gotten an explosive. It's a thing. Lestrade receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Bugs Bunny thinks about home. Birdo cannot handle the I could have sworn I removed all the suicide events. Pretty sure I did. I guess I missed one. Modify events. Yeah. Oh, no, that's blood. Nighttime is when this happened. Yeah, it says the suicide events are all gone. What the hell? So that's weird. They are all supposed to be gone, but it still happened. I don't know. I told it no suicide, and it gave me a suicide. Anyway, Birdo ate bad food and died. Birdo ate bad food. I don't know what to do. Day 2. Parvati scares off Jonathan Reed. Deadpool accidentally detonates a landmine while trying to arm it? No, Deadpool. Well, there's our champion from last season. Zinnia and Santa hunt for the tributes. Scout questions her sanity. Miles Morales makes a wooden spear. Hugh discovers a cave. Hugo steals from Leshy when he isn't looking. Princess Daisy bleeds out due to untreated injuries? Girl, how'd you get hurt? Lily forces Aiden to... The 2 characters from the same game. And I don't know the game. So Whale Troll will probably realize how... Whale Troll can speak better to this, but I think Lily is like Aiden's kid? Lily forces Aiden to kill Barrett Wallace or Professor Mirror, and he decides to kill Barrett Wallace. What? God, sometimes I love doing the Hunger Games. This is why we do this shit. Shade Man, Alphino, Kurumi, Lin, and Reptar go hunting together, and obviously they fail because they didn't find shit. Elizabeth Ashbury throws a knife into Drago's head. Well, if he's gonna have any weakness with all them muscles, that's probably the right call, honestly. Lucula, Junpei, Sissel, Mr. Torque, and Kibo go hunting. We have 2 groups of 5 going hunting together, and yet neither group found anything. Pathetic. The Lamb and Aang work together for the day. Tataru thinks about home. Lestrade injures himself, but not dead. Billy tries to sleep through the entire day. Yeah, he's a lazy bones, so that works. Antonio, Aerith, Nyoka, and Amicia raid Arya Stark's camp while she's hunting. That is going to be a mistake. You do not fuck with Arya Stark. Fireman goes fishing. I'm assuming he just lets fire into the river. The Tinkerer receives an explosion. Oh no. Bugs Bunny practices archery. Jono tries to spearfish with the trident. Wiggins travels to higher ground. Yuffie Kisaragi injures herself. And now we see the fallen tributes: Clara, Sir Hammerlock, Birdo, Deadpool, Princess Daisy, Barrett Wallace, and Drago all are gone. The Lamb, Mr. Torg, and Arya Stark cheerfully sing songs together during night 2. Kurumi Tojo kills Lucilla with his own weapon, which is probably a wooden ladle, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess it's a wooden ladle, and she just rammed it down his throat. Yeah. Fireman goes to sleep. Parvati and Elizabeth huddle for warmth. Miles Morales loses sight of where he is. That's pretty bad. Lily! What's wrong with you? Lily forces Aang to kill Hugo or Nyoka. He refuses. Makes sense. So Lily kills him instead. Lily's a goddamn psychopath. Sissel tends to his wounds. Scout quietly hums. Totoro loses sight of where she is. Yuffie thinks about winning. You got a long way to go, kid. Bugs Bunny and Lin talk about the tributes that are still alive. That'd probably be a fun conversation. Hugh receives his fresh food. Shademan attempts to climb a tree but falls to her death. Sir, you are a vampire bat. Fly. You don't gotta climb. You're dead. What do you... God damn it. Wiggins is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Junpei, Aerith, Zinnia, and Antonio sleep in shifts. Jono, Reptar, Santa, Alphino, and Professor Mirror track down and kill Lestrade. What a group. What a group. Took 5 of you to kill Lestrade. Wow. Including a dinosaur. Jonathan Reed tends to his wounds. Leslie is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Kibo fends off Billy, Amicia, and the Tinkerer from his fire. Aiden gets a hatchet. He's probably preparing for whenever his child decides to try and force him to kill somebody again. Day 3. Water time. Holy shit, we've already been going 21 minutes? That's weird. That doesn't make any sense. Wiggins collects fruit from a tree. Jono stalks Lily. Jonathan Reed overpowers Totoro and kills her. Probably not that hard. Antonio kills Aerith Gainsborough with a hatchet. Hugh defeats Elizabeth Ashbury in a fight, but spares her life. Nyoka receives clear water from an unknown sponsor. Zinnia severely injures Karumi and puts her out of her misery. Yuffie Kisaragi tracks in and kills Hugo. Oh, a lot of death happening here. The lamb sprains his little ankle while running away from Amicia. Professor Mira attacks Scout, but she manages to escape. Lynn and Aiden split up the search for resources. Alphino tries to sleep through the entire day. Fireman injures himself. Miles Morales and Santa go hunting together. Parvati stabs Sissel with a tree branch. I feel like that shouldn't kill, but okay. Arya Stark steals from Leshy. Junpei goes to higher ground. Reptar and Bugs Bunny split up the search for resources. The Tinkerer questions her sanity. Same, girl. Same. Kibo and Mr. Twerk split up. Billy questions his sanity. Same guy. Same. More 9 cannon shots. Lucula, Aang, Shademan, Lestrade, Totoro, Aerith, Karumi, Hugo, and Sissel are all gone. Look, that's 18 people dead. So we're down to what, 30? Night 3. Lin defeats Mr. Torg in a fight. But Questwood spares his life. Yuffie destroys the lamb's supplies. Scout starts a fire. Leshy and Kibo hold hands. Hugh stabs Aiden with a tree branch. Billy gets a hatchet. Jonathan Reed tends to Bugs Bunny's wounds. Wiggins again fails at making fire. Reptar also fails at making fire. Nyoka receives clean water. Lily has nightmares. You fucking should, you psycho! Elizabeth defeats Professor Mira in a fight, but spares his life. Alphino fails at making fire. So many idiots. Miles, Arya, and Parvati sleep in shifts. Amicia and Zinnia huddle for warmth. Fireman, Jono, Antonio, Santa, and Junpei sleep in shifts. The Tinkerer makes fire. Day 4. Lin stabs Jono while his back is turned. Well, I need a new podcast co-host. Send me your applications to a comment on this video. Yeah. Bugs Bunny makes a shack. Hugh attacks Alphino, but he escapes. The Tinkerer steals from Kibo. Lily goes fishing. Antonio, Professor Mirror, and Reptar go hunting. Scout explores. Yuffie begs Mr. Torg to kill her, and he says, that ain't manly, so I ain't doing it. Also, he just wants to use guns. And he doesn't have any guns here. Arya overhears Parvati and Junpei talk in the distance. Leshy gets fresh food. The Lamb, Miles, Elizabeth, Billy, and Nayoka go hunting together. Wiggins gets fruit. Amicia goes hunting. Zinnia overhears Santa and Jonathan Reed talking in the distance. Fireman gets an explosive. I really don't think he needs one. Only 2 cannon shots that time around. Aiden and Jono are both gone. Night 4, Mr. Torg screams for help. Nobody helps him. Fireman and Alfredo sleep in shifts. Parvati hums to herself. Yuffie Kisaragi dies from thirst. Maybe next year I need to take out all the solo death ones alongside all the suicide ones. That's just not fun. Or maybe like just leave like a couple, but take out the vast majority. I don't know. We'll see. Hugh gets medical supplies. Antonio, Scout, and Reptar discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Arya Stark tracks down and kills Lily. You have done a service to your country. Because Lily is a psychopath. Professor Mirror receives fresh food. Miles Morales is a sight of where he is. Nayoka, Elizabeth, Kibo, the Lamp, and Lynn all sleep in ships. The Tinkerer is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Leshy convinces Wiggins to snuggle with him. Billy and Junpei talk about the people still alive. Bugs Bunny cooks his food. Amicia thinks about winning. Santa destroys Jonathan's supplies. Zinnia slings herself to sleep. Or at least she tries to. Day 5. Kibo gets medical supplies. Huzzah. Parvati sees smoke rise in the distance and says, no sir. Miles Morales searches for firewood. Bugs Bunny overhears Zinnia and the Lamb talking in the distance. Professor Mirror stops Hugh. Antonio receives clean water. Leshy, Junpei, Billy, Jonathan, and Elizabeth all go hunting. Alphino tends to Mr. Torg's wounds. Amicia finds a cave. Reptar the Tinkerer and Santa go hunting. Nayoka receives clean water. Arya Stark searches for firewood. Wiggins tries to sleep. Lynn travels to higher ground. Fireman gets another explosive. Dude. Scout gets pricked by thorns while picking berries, and I'm here wondering, when are y'all bitches gonna die? We only had 2 shots that time. Yuffie and Lily are now dead. Night 5. Reptar convinces Billy to not kill him, only to kill him instead. Brutal. The Lamb and Nayoka tell stories about each other. Lynn fends off Mr. Torg, Arya, and Amicia from her fire skills. Santa attempts to climb a tree but falls on the Tinkerer, killing them both. Santa, really? You're smarter than that. Elizabeth Ashbury fails at making fire. Zinnia begs for Professor Mirror to kill her, and he's just like, no. No. Alphino passes out from exhaustion. Antonio screams for help. Nobody cares. Hugh and Wiggins tell stories about themselves. Scout gets fresh food. Miles thinks about winning. Fireman sets off one of his explosives and kills Jonathan Reed, Parvati, Kibo, and Bugs Bunny. Remember what I said about how the game doesn't track who gets what stuff and it's just purely random? That's still true. But sometimes the RNG knows what it's doing. Leshy thinks about winning. Junpei sees the fire, but stays hidden. Wise. Day 6. Wiggins gets fruit. Arya and Fireman work together. Lynn, Junpei, Professor Mirror, and the Lamb raid Mr. Torg's camp. Amicia questions her sanity. Hugh receives a hatchet. Reptar diverts Miles Morales' attention and runs. Alphino goes fishing. Zinnia thinks about home. Scout falls into a pit and dies. Elizabeth Ashbury questions her sanity. Antonio scares off Nayoka. Leshy receives fresh food. Weirdo. 8 more cannon shots. Fuck, how many people are dead now? Billy, Santa, Tinkerer, Jonathan, Parvati, Kibo, Bugs Bunny, and the Scout are all gone. How many are left? Let's see here. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 people are left. Getting there. Night 6. Junpei screams for help. The Lamb and Hugh huddle for warmth. Nayoka fends off Antonio, Zinnia, and Miles Morales from her fire. Leshy looks at the night sky. Professor Mira gets fresh food. Elizabeth cries herself to sleep. Fireman.exe kills Reptar with his own weapon. Okay. Not sure what his own weapon is, but okay. Alphino begs for Amicia to kill him, and she's like, I can't do that. Wiggins begs for Mr. Torg to kill him, and he's just like, I won't do that. Arya Stark and Lynn talk about the other tributes. Day 7. Junpei tends to the lamb's wounds. Mr. Torg forces Nyoga to kill Hugh or Fireman.exe. She decides to kill Fireman.exe. That's a smart choice. Amicia tries to sleep. Professor Mirror poisons Arya Stark's drink, but mistakes it for his own and dies. Oh. He fell for the classic blunder. Elizabeth Ashbury attempts to climb a tree and falls. Alphino tries to sleep throughout the entire day. Wiggins pushes Miles Morales off of a cliff during a knife fight? Miles, you are Spider-Man. How do you let that kill you? Antonio thinks about home. Lynn goes hunting. Lushy explores. Zinnia gets clean water. We are down to 12, guys. Reptar, Fireman, Professor Mirror, Elizabeth, and Miles Morales are all dead. Night 7. Alphino cries himself to sleep. Antonio fails in making fire. The Lamb kills Junpei with a hatchet. Lushy and Wiggins talk about the other tributes. Lynn wakes up by nightmares. Mr. Torg, also awoken by nightmares. Zinnia, also awoken by nightmares. Naoka gets medical supplies. Amicia thinks about home. Arya Stark dies from an infection. Well, Hugh gets clean water. Uh-oh. The feast! The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs for the tribute's families. Hugh says, hell nah, and doesn't go. Wiggins severely injures Nyoka and leaves her to die. The Lamb doesn't need such things and decides not to go. Amicia severely slices Antonia with a sword. Zinnia steals Lushy's memoirs. Mr. Torg sets Lynn on fire with a Molotov. Alphino says, no thank you, I'm good. Day 8. Mr. Torg springs his ankle while running away from Hugh. The Lamb goes hunting. Lushy fishes. Alphino attacks Zinnia, but she manages to escape. Amicia practices archery, and Wiggins hides in the bush. 5 more are dead. Junpei, Arya, Nyoka, Antonio, and Lynn. How many are left? The Lamb thinks about home during night 8. Alphino and Wiggins talk about everybody else. Hugh cries himself to sleep. Lushy cooks his food. Zinnia poisons Mr. Torg's drink but mistakes it for her own and dies. Zinnia. Amicia tries to treat her infection. Day 9. Alphino and Hugh split up to search for resources. The Lamb overhears Mr. Torg and Lushy talking in the distance. Wiggins gets medical supplies, and Amicia dies from thirst. The final 6 is here. Alphino, Hugh, the Lamb, Mr. Torg, Lushy, and Wiggins. This is the point where I like to try and pick who I want to see win. At this point, I think the Lamb would be an amazing winner. So let's go Lamb! Zinnia and Amicia were the only 2 to die during that point. Night 9, Lushy dies from an infection. Mr. Torg, the Lamb, and Hugh sleep in shifts. Alphino goes to sleep. Wiggins tries to treat his infection. You better hurry, or you might die like Lushy. Day 10, the Lamb tracks down and kills Hugh. Alphino severely slices Mr. Torg with a sword. Wiggins falls into a pit and dies. We just went from the top 5 to the top 2 in one day. Holy shit! It's the Lamb versus Alphino! Which would have been my second pick for the person I'd like to see win. And then Mr. Torg. But, let's see what happens. Lushy, Hugh, Mr. Torg, and Wiggins are all gone. There's only 2 left. The Lamb kills Alphino as he tries to run. There it is, folks. There it is. We have the winner of the 6th season of the Select Star Gaming Hunger Games. The winner is the Lamb from District 6. And now he's going to create a whole new cult. What have we done? What have we done? He had 3 kills in the end. Most kills probably goes to Fireman with 5. Yeah, that is no surprise. Who was the first person to die that had a kill? I like seeing that. Shade Man was. Okay. And then best person to... Leshy made it to 6 plus without any kills. Not too bad. And there's just a big old summary. And, you know, the placements of everybody. So, yeah, with that, that is the end of our Hunger Games this season. This means that the Lamb will return for Season 7. Pitting against a bunch of characters that we'll see who's even going to be in that season. Because I don't know. I know a little bit because, hey, I know what game is currently... I know what game is going to be airing next from the other channel, but I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the year. But with that, we'll go ahead and end things here. If you want to see how the other seasons went, check them out here on the channel. They're all going to be under the Shuffle Play playlist, so you can find them in there. Just do a Control F for Hunger Games or Brantsteele. It's actually Hunger Games. I don't think I put Brantsteele titles. Just like for Hunger Games. But that is going to be it. And we will see you all in another video. So, bye everyone.